As soon as the story begins, it is shown woman Ratna. Ratna gets scared, comes to her room, and locks it. Her face was also swollen, and suddenly she started doing weird things. The next morning, Ratna was completely normal. She brought an envelope and put it on the table where her son was sitting, and then told her son to leave. The envelope had divorce papers that her son had already seen. These people were going to pick up Ratna's husband, who was a Navy officer, and after a long time, he was coming home on holidays. Here, Ratna did not behave well with her husband's colleagues, and when Ferris, the senior's husband, brings her for the movie, she becomes even worse, as if she wants to stay away from him. After the movie, these people come home. Ratna goes straight to her flat, while Ferris was meeting her neighbor, who told Ferris that your wife has not been home since many nights. And listening to this, Ferris got very angry. Getting angry at this, Ferris starts shouting at Ratna, but Ratna does not give any response, and again talks about going out of the house. Ratna had to go out and finish her work, but then Ferris comes close to her with love and requests her not to go today, go tomorrow. Ratna stops, but she did not want to stay with Ferris. She was ignoring Ferris, which made her feel that Ratna was definitely having an affair with someone else. And this thing breaks Ratna. She does not give any response to Ferris, but she hits her head badly on the table. And by doing this, her son comes and stops her. Now in the morning, when Ferris woke up, there was a ruckus in the kitchen. She went out and saw that her son was cooking himself. He talks to his son. Then he finds out that for many months, Ratna does not take care of him at all. He makes his own breakfast. He gets ready himself. He takes a bath himself and then goes to school. Hearing this, Ferris was sad and angry. And then he realized that whatever Ratna was doing, she had forgotten her son in all this. Now he was thinking that suddenly a knock on the door, and it is seen that Ratna's assistant had come here. Ratna herself was a scriptwriter, and she had to produce her own show soon, for which she was busy for many days. And on Ratna's insistence, her assistant, her son Booty, wanted to leave school, and she used to bring him from school. This girl also tells Ferris that Ratna has been working in a hotel for the past 3 months because she needed peace. So Ferris replies that peace was also at her house. There is no one at home. Ferris asks this girl about Ratna's hotel. So this girl says, I don't know much. Our director has booked it for her. Anyway, this girl now takes Ratna's son away from here. And in the meantime, Ferris's neighbor comes to their house. This time he had brought in new news. He says to Ferris, I think there is a demon effect on Ratna, and I can say this to Shorty, because I've seen a demon walking behind her. Ferris did not believe in all this. Then Tony replies, look, I have researched. You also keep this book. You also read it. If you start getting the signs written in it at your house, then understand that Ratna is in some trouble, and you can save her by exorcism. Something was written in the book that if she is a demon with any member of the family, then the rest of her family members will see the useless covers of her house. During all this, he gets a glimpse that Ratna's house has turned into a strange monster, which these two did not notice. Now Ferris, ignoring all this, goes to Ratna's director because he felt that Ratna's director was involved in it. He was going to beat her here for no reason. But then he thought of the public, and he asked, tell me, where's Ratna? The director did not tell him Ratna's address. Instead, he says, don't disturb her. She is doing a very big project. After hearing all this, Ferris got even more angry. Whatever he would have done, he was inspired to find out everything. That's why he hired a private spy, who always kept an eye on the director and his wife. After doing all this, he comes back home. This time, his son also had to come back from school. Ratna's sister brought him back from school, and sad Ferris started sharing her grief with him while talking when that girl was about to come close to Ferris. Then Ferris's son came between the two, who tells his dad not to bring him when Ferris was not bringing his son. Then he tells that mom has been behaving very strangely for many days. She goes to the room and talks to herself, and sometimes her body also turns. During these talks, Ferris's son started seeing her bruises on the roof. Out of fear, he went into the water. Here we see that in the meantime, Ratna also came home. Ferris went to Ratna in anger and asked her, tell me, how many people are you involved in? Look, this was so wrong that Ratna got very angry. And when Ratna got angry, we were shown that the lights of his house were on. Even the fuse of his house was blown. And Ratna's face was also strange at this time. For once, Ferris thought that Ratna was missing. But when the light came, he saw Ratna sitting very low, She was not just lying on the floor. Her condition was also very strange. Her makeup was also ruined, and she was moving in a strange way. It seemed as if something unseen was with her at this time. Ferris picks up Ratna and takes her to the room. Her condition was very bad. What was happening? Ferris was thinking that suddenly his eyes went into the mirror, where he saw Ratna's cow pillow in the shape of a dead body. Half the night passes, and in the middle of the night, Ratna gets the same attack again, in which she was behaving strangely, and she had kept her cow pillow on top. Seeing this, Ferris picks up the cow pillow from her and throws it aside, after which Ratna's condition gets better. In the meantime, we see that someone called Ferris. This was the call of the same spy who told Ferris that the director is not involved in your wife, because he had done all the investigation. After the call, as soon as Ferris came to the room, then Ratna came again. She was in a very bad condition. Her hair was on her face, and she was doing strange things. The lights flickered once again, and then when the lights turned off and on, then Ratna disappeared from the house. Ferris did not find anything strange at this time, because she still suspected the director. That's why she called the spy again, and asking the address of the director's hotel. Went to his hotel. When he was in the lift, he met an old lady here, who tells him that he is coming. After saying this, she also disappears. Anyway, as soon as she left, she pointed a gun at the director, but then she found out that there was no one in her room. When she came home, she saw that her son was very scared because she can see blood stains on the roof. By the way, he did not even go to the washroom because Ratna was there, and now he was afraid of Ratna. He was afraid of his mother. For years ago, Ferris himself went to the washroom. Ratna was not there, but now how did Ratna come there? He did not understand. When he goes to the washroom, he sees that Ratna was in a very bad condition. She had a wound on her body, and blood was coming out of her legs. Anyone who sees her gets scared. Ferris tells his son to leave this room, and then he picks up Ratna and lays her on the bed. After telling this, he came to his son. He was satisfied and started talking to him, and while talking, they both slept here. After Ferris slept, Ratna woke up again in the middle of the night. Now she was looking fine. She got ready. She did bold makeup and took the umbrella and went out. It was raining heavily outside, but she did not care. She swims in this rain, enjoys it, moves on, and then she gets a taxi. She tells the taxi to go to the hotel, where she had been going to work for the past few days. Seeing the bad condition of the weather and the lonely girl, the taxi driver also tries to take advantage of the situation, but Ratna ignores him and leaves his car. And then we see a shadow in the car. We see a ghost. As soon as Ratna leaves the car, the entity that we saw sitting in that car, he mercilessly kills the driver. Ratna also saw all this, but she did not care, and she went to her room with great pleasure. Here we saw that the spy was also following her, obviously at the behest of Ferris. As soon as the spy went to Ratna's room, she started hearing strange noises from Ratna's room. She thought there must be someone in Ratna's room. Without asking anything, he took permission. He opened Ratna's room and went inside. There was no one there. Ratna was also standing as if she did not care, as if she was not completely conscious. She did not care to come inside the spy because she knew that Ferris is doing this work. The spy asked him some questions, and then his whole room, his closet under the bed, even checks his washroom. But at this time, there was no one in Ratna's room. He also made a video of all these things because he had to send Ferris. While the spy was doing all this, Ratna was busy with her work. Here we see that while making Ratna's video, the man also slowly started coming close to Ratna. But Ratna did not give any response. She did not even touch him. Suddenly, this man heard a strange noise from the bathroom. She thought there was someone in the bathroom. To check, as soon as she opened the bathroom door, there was a lot of blood, and in front of her, she also saw an entity, a demon, afraid of which he immediately came out of the bathroom. But behind Ratna, as if she was not ready with the weapon, she stabs this man again and again and kills him right here. After this, she picks up this man's body and puts it in the hotel's closet. And despite doing all this, there was no expression on Ratna's face. She was not even afraid. The scene is cut from here. We are shown to Ferris, whose eyes are open because blood drops were falling from the roof over him. Seeing this, he was very scared. He did not even get any evidence against Ratna. That's why he believed in this. That surely some demon has affected Ratna. Some demon has possessed Ratna. To find a solution to this, he goes to talk to Tony, and Tony also comes to his house to find the demon's clue. After checking the house, he told Ferris. Whoever demon has come here, someone has sent him, because he is jealous of Ratna's family. Those people could have got Ratna out of this demon with the help of exorcism, but for all this, it is necessary for Ratna to be in the house. Now, as much as Ratna was not there, Ferris was seeing a lot of cassettes there. To pass the time, she played one of them. This was the recording of Ratna's show's rehearsals, where she saw that her director was getting her scripts canceled again and again. He used to call her work bad, and used to take only one work from her, because of which Ratna was very disturbed. In this recording, we see that Ratna's assistant collects all her scripts and immediately comes behind Ratna and tells her that I can solve all your problems, only on one condition, that you give your husband to me. Obviously, anyone had to get angry after hearing this. Ratna refused badly. Then that girl said, think about it. I can give you something in return, which will always listen to you. But he will not be a human. He will be an entity, a demon. After seeing all these things in the footage, Ferris understood that definitely Ratna's assistant, that entity, that demon, is behind Ratna. After understanding everything, he decides that he will help Ratna. That's why he goes to Ratna's hotel, where we saw that at this time, Ratna had her director, who was still forcing Ratna to write a good script. Seeing this, Ratna got very angry, and as soon as Ratna got angry, in front of this director, that demon came, seeing which, this director got scared badly. He did not understand what to do. Just like a spy, when he turned back in fear, Ratna was standing to kill him, and Ratna at this time, while keeping a knife on his neck, murders him too. Doing all this, he did not even think about it, that he could be in jail. Maybe she was doing all this from the possession of this demon. Below we see that Ferris has come to the same car. In which car? Ratna had come here. His driver was dead. Now he was seeing him. That suddenly the director's body fell on the same car. And seeing this, he got scared badly. And immediately, he went to Ratna's room. When he was in the lift, then he again met the same old lady, which he has met before, and she tells him that he has come, and saying this, she goes from there, ignoring this too. Ferris goes to Ratna's room, where Ratna was lying in a weird position with the same old lady, as if the two of us spent time together. Ratna's condition was also very weird at this time. That's why Ferris came home with him. He was scared of Ratna. He was feeling that the director was not the one who was being unfair to Ratna. That's why Ratna killed him. He washes Ratna and makes her hair and tells her, look, Ratna, nothing happened. Forget what happened. We both will start again. Saying this, he again came close to Ratna, but Ratna was not feeling comfortable coming close to him. She now, suddenly, runs away from Ferris and goes to the kitchen. Ferris also runs and follows her. But till then, Ratna had picked up a knife, which she points at Ferris and says, stay away from me. I don't want to be with you. I'm happy with her, who listens to me. That means Ratna was happy with the demon. Here, when Ferris came close to her again, she found out that she can't get rid of Ferris so easily. That's why she tries to kill herself. But Ferris saved her too. After this, we see that Ratna was unconscious. Ferris lays her at home and brings Tony home so that he can exorcise her. Tony too lights a lot of candles at home and ties Ratna's hands and feet to the bed. But after this, he didn't know what to do, and confusion was clearly visible on his face. Suddenly, he makes a promise to himself and says to Ferris that I have to check Ratna's entire body carefully. You go out. It was clear from this that he too wanted to take advantage of Ratna. Here, it is shown that Booty had returned from school. Ratna's assistant picked her up from school. So this time, as soon as she comes home, seeing the strange atmosphere of the house, she tries to run away from here. But Ferris catches her. He says to her, I know, you have done all this. You have sent Stephen to Ratna. You free Ratna. Take me if you want. It meant that this girl who wanted to get Ferris in any condition, Ferris will stay with her now. But Ferris was saying all this. When Ferris was saying all this, there was no such thing in his heart. He was not yet saying to free Ratna. He was just saying all this for his feelings. And his feelings, that demon heard, and suddenly he dropped Ferris on the side, came to Ratna's assistant, and then went inside her body, possessing her. The demon attacked Ferris, but then he did not kill Ferris because he used to work according to Ratna, and Ratna did not want that the demon kill Ferris. That's why the demon, with the girl's body, went out of the house and started doing weird things. Now when Ferris came back to the room, he saw that Tony was trying to rape his wife. And seeing this, he got angry. Before he could do anything to Tony, all the furniture in this room fly in the air, and the lights here also go out. Tony, taking advantage of this moment, tries to kill Ferris because he knew that if he did not kill Ferris, then Ferris will kill him. Now at the same time, when he was going to kill Ferris, the demon went inside the room and tried to rape Tony, and Tony was going to kill Tony. The demon possessed him. In this condition, Tony killed himself by hitting his head against the wall. And here, at the railway station, Ratna's assistant also killed himself by hitting his head against the wall. After the scene, we are again shown Ferris's house, where on the walls, on the roof, on the floor, blood was everywhere. And seeing this, Ferris got scared. He took a gun in his hand. He quickly knocked on his son's door so that he could take his son and run away from here. But the door did not open, so he was forced to go to Ratna's room, where he saw that Ratna was spending time with her son. Actually, the demon was inside the son, and she was getting intimate with the demon. Seeing this, Ferris also fainted. He did not understand what he had seen. He was so stressed that he fainted, and when he regained consciousness, he saw that he was tied to a chair in the theater, and around him were the corpses of the people who were killed. In this movie, Ratna tells them her written script, and then, while laughing, she shoots Ferris and kills him. It can be seen that her son, Buddy, saw all this from behind the curtain, but he did not do anything strange. Maybe the demon possessed him too. Now, Ratna's companion was the demon who took him out from every problem. That is why Ratna took such big steps. All the people that Ratna killed were those people who used to harass Ratna. And now, after their death, Ratna was free, and by showing her, and this is how the story ends. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this movie and what other movies or documentaries you want me to review next. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.